So in this video, we're going to put everything back into the camper van and get it back on the road. This is the insulation phase. So I started the insulation. I read up a lot about it. I got the mats, I got the flooring insulation. I started doing it and I started putting it on, but then it got to the phase where I just wanted it back together. It had taken a long time to get here. I know it's only been a couple of videos, but it took a lot out of me to get to this point. I was doing it on my own. I was trying to figure stuff out. I was trying to figure out how much we were going to use it, all of the rest of the things. So I put the insulation on the back part, but in order to do the floor, it just was a bit complicated. And as I say, I just wanted to get it back on the road and get out in it. So I decided to cut it short and we would just get the stuff back in. There'll be another video later down the road about insulation and finishing the insulation off, but I just wanted to get it back together and use it. So yeah, painting the seat. So I also painted the seat. So the seat had to go back in and it was a grey, it was mismatching colours. I just wanted to paint it all white. I knew that it would be mostly covered up by cushions, so it wasn't really that big a deal how well it was painted. So I quickly painted the seat, which was really hard to get in and out because we were storing it in one of the metal sheds. I had to pull it out myself and it was really hard to like maneuver it whilst painting it. It was difficult. Painting the floor. So the floor had a bit of vinyl on before. It was just a bit of vinyl on a bit of thin bit of wood. And I got that out, and in the summer heat, the vinyl just peeled straight off. It was nice to not have to try and peel it myself. And then I had grand plans at the beginning of this to fully redo the flooring, get it all nice, get the cupboards in and stuff. But as I say, just wanted to use it again. So I decided to paint it black. We already had some black floor paint. So I got it out and I mixed it up and then I started rollering it and it was like navy blue. And I was like, this definitely says black on the tin. I wasn't mad. I quite like that navy blue, but then it did dry black. I don't know if that's normal for black paint to come out navy blue, but yeah, it was a nice navy blue. I might consider doing the floor navy blue, getting some like navy blue vinyl for the floor. I don't know. I haven't quite thought of colour schemes. I went with the sort of royal blue and orange theme because I googled it and they said they were contrasting but nice colours or something. I don't know much about colours. Getting the seat back in. So the massive challenge was to get the seat back in. So I called in my boyfriend. We had a look at the seat and the seat never fitted properly, never really worked properly to start with. So yeah, so then we managed to get it back in. We did scratch the wood quite a bit. It's a snug fit. That full rock and roll bed is a snug fit. So it's called a rock and roll bed because it's like this and then you rock it and then it turns into a bed. So I guess that's why it's called a rock and roll bed. It is quite tight on the sides, and as we were trying to get it in, we did scratch some of the places, some of the nicely fresh painted wood, but it actually worked really well. I don't know if it was bodged install. There's bits of wood and I don't know if that's just typical to ours, but we got it in, we got it rocking and rolling better than it did before. So I was really pleased with the bed. So that took a lot of time. I sped through that, but that took us a lot of time, and it was the time in the pandemic where it was safe to sort of travel. Things were opening up again and I just wanted to get out of the house a little bit. So we took it to a few places. We took it to Cadwell. There's no footage of this because I wasn't really thinking about that. I was just thinking about having fun. And then a few months after, my mum rang me up on the Monday and she said, Esther, I have to be out of my house by Friday, lunchtime. I was like, oh, okay, Pip's working away and, you know, I've got the Fiat Punto, but that's no good. And then I remembered I had the Volkswagen camper. So my 60 plus mom, me, and a 40 plus camper van had to move my mum out sharpish. So I went during like lunch times and stuff. I had to like drive there, like shove stuff in the van, and then we drove back and shoved stuff in the house, and it was chaos, but we did it. I think the van did 6 trips in total. My mum was, you know, it was a time The van did a lot of smoking. It made it, but it was smoking all the way. The brakes were a bit dodgy at some point. There was one point where I dashed in at lunchtime to go grab another load of stuff, and the oil light came on, and I stopped at the side of the road because I had oil with me. I tried to get the oil cap off. I think it was because it was warm it wasn't coming off, although it did make me feel quite weak as I was trying to turn this cap, and I just couldn't get it. I then in my desperation called my boyfriend, who was miles away, and I was like, I'm trying to get the van going and I've got oil and it just needs to remove the cap. And he was like trying to talk me through it calmly and rationally, like, do you have a rag? Put a rag on top and then twist. Now that's never worked for me. I don't know if it's worked for you. Comment down below if that's ever worked for you. But getting a rag and having more, I guess it creates more friction and then it just ends up slipping with me. I don't like the rag situation. But then he was, he taught me through it, and he was like, right, well, have the constant force. Don't try and like tweak it. Just have constant force and it'll come eventually. And I'm gonna say that because it cooled down that I managed to get it, and it wasn't because of Pip's talking through it. It's because of Pip's nice words. I got it open and I cried. It had been an exhausting week and I just cried. Just like tipping this oil in at the side of the road, being like, I did it, I was so good. My mom was a trooper. She did it. She lifted all of the stuff, all of the heavy stuff. I don't know how she managed to lift all of the heavy stuff, but we did it, and we got it all back to our house. So then there was a discussion of where it would go in our house. So she was selling up the family home in order to move into a smaller flat. We'd moved out. So we then sort of put all of her stuff everywhere. There was a delay in her flat. So hopefully it's within the next month that she moves out. So a load of stuff is still in the van. We thought that the best place for some of it was in the van. We're hoping that it's not too damp in there and then it sort of works out fine, but we'll see when we open it up. It does mean that it's been hard to get in the van. There's some stuff that I could have done on the outside of the van, but it's cold and it's winter, so I just haven't really got round to it. So what's the plan with the van? So the plan with the van, once mum's stuff is out of the van and we've got her settled down, shipped her out, the plan is to sort of start and look again. It's been a while now since I've done the last little bits that you'll see in the beginning of the video. So I'm ready to give it a fresh look. The oil leak is probably where we'll start. It kind of, when I was moving my mum out, it was a lot more of an oil leak than I thought. So I've been not looking at it. So I've been neglecting that oil leak. I've been thinking it's not there and it might fix itself. It's not fixing itself. So I think that's the next thing that really needs to be looked at. So yeah, the oil leak, windscreen wipers, and the interior. They're the three things that, it's just the three things. I do think it's going to take me a long time. It's a long haul project car. There's other stuff going around it. It's at the bottom of the list. We want to get the other cars going first. So yeah, you'll see it again this year. You'll see little potter about on little bits of it. It's storage at the moment. It's a storage van. Thank you ever so much for watching. If you like this video, think about subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Bye.